I'm Judy Zelina. This is the Millcreek Government Channel. The Second Harvest Food Bank of Northwest Pennsylvania is the largest nonprofit food distribution organization in Northwest Pennsylvania and the only food bank in the region. Second Harvest solicits, receives, inventories, stores, and distributes millions of pounds of grocery products each year. They distribute to hundreds of nonprofit members, agencies that directly serve people facing hard times in 11 counties. Here with us today to talk about the program and planned events is the Director of Development, Zachary Webb. Zach, welcome to the program. It's your first time here with me, and I'm glad to have you here.
And thank you for the opportunity, Judy. We appreciate it.
Now, how long, Zach, have you been with the food bank, Second Harvest?
In just a couple days, it will be my 6th year. But when it comes to food banking, they're like dog years. So I've been doing this for 6 years/40 years. It has been a monumental experience.
Well, it's a great organization. I love doing the shows with any of you guys because you do so many such wonderful programs for the community.
Thank you.
First off, though, let's talk about what is the Second Harvest Food Bank and how does it work?
In a nutshell, because it is 6 years in, I still learn something every day.
Good.
We are the central hub for hunger relief in Northwest Pennsylvania. So we get donations on a national, regional, even local level. We have a 60,000 square foot warehouse that we bring all of that into one location, and then we distribute that food, hopefully at no charge or little to no charge, to 395 hunger relief agencies. So when you think of local, larger hunger relief agencies like Erie City Mission or St. Martin Center, the likelihood is that they get the majority of the food that they provide to their clients direct from Second Harvest Food Bank. It's not uncommon for us to get a truckload of cereal or 3 truckloads of some product from Kraft or something from ConAgra Foods that a local agency would never be able to handle. But for us, we can then distribute that across all 11 counties at no charge at all. So that's our role. We distribute every year, last year, enough food to provide 10 million meals.
Oh my gosh.
And that's really, really hard to conceptualize what 10 million meals looks like. But we have a 60,000 square foot warehouse, and the entire warehouse turns over, all of the inventory turns over every 28 days. So if you came in today, a month from now it'd be a whole new set of food, and we do that every month perpetually for almost 40 years now.
So now you're at the warehouse and somebody's there every day. I mean, every day you're sending food out you're distributing it to a different site, correct?
Always, always, always. So those 395 agencies are food pantries, soup kitchens, homeless shelters. We do Produce Express mobile distributions where we have trucks that we take out and distribute fresh fruit and produce. We have military shares that's a program specific for military members and those that were families of military members that may need food. We have backpack programs for children, school pantries for children. We have senior boxes. We have built entire programs around specific clientele to make sure that no matter where you are in the course of your life, we have a program that is built to make sure that you get food. On the surface, it's not real glamorous when you come to Second Harvest. We are a big warehouse, and it doesn't do justice for the amount of work and effort that we put in every single day.
Well, you're feeding the hungry, and I think that's glamorous.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
But I did want to talk to you about hunger. And Zach, what does hunger look like?
It is not always the individual standing at a traffic light with a cardboard sign saying, need food, need help. That the idea that being hungry is equitable to being homeless is just not fair. Here in our region, we are a very diverse area. Clearly, recently in the news, immigration and having immigrants in our area and how diverse that we are became a hot button topic. But we know that when you get into the center of Erie, there are Bosnians, there are a lot of Eastern Europeans, there are immigrants that come in that is a unique subset of the population. We know that we are dealing with a heavy in our area, those that are hungry, are individuals that are underemployed. For instance, we held a distribution in December of last year, And during the Pennsylvania shutdown, the government shut down when we were all trying to stay safe with one another in,
Right.
in the height of the pandemic. And it affected a lot of people in new ways. And the unfortunate part is when we opened it up for brand new people to come and receive food assistance for the first time, we had a parking lot full of 140, 150 families, and it were 20 to 30-year-old kids that couldn't get food at college because they weren't in class. Kids that were working at a local restaurant and had their hours cut because there was nobody to serve. Young adults that were single parents that are working in a restaurant or in a fast food restaurant that only had drive-through available to them. And so they were not working as much. Hunger is, it's endemic. Just the same as COVID has affected all of us. At one point during the pandemic, 4 out of 10 individuals were looking for food assistance for the first time through Feeding America numbers. 40% of Americans were struggling to put food on their tables at one point for one reason or another. And we see that for us, yes, it's been rough the last year, but we've been serving 1 in 6, 1 in 7 people for 35, 40 years now.
Right.
Like this is what hunger is. You know somebody that is hungry. That's just the way that it is. And it's hard to distinguish because not everybody looks hungry. But if you met the people that I meet on a daily basis, you would understand that hunger is a real problem, and we are doing everything we can to fix it.
You know, you were talking about COVID. How have you had to adjust your programs because of COVID? I'm sure there was a lot of adjustments, a lot of tweaking going on, right?
Absolutely. Programmatically, I've had to dye my hair more. I'm going gray.
I can imagine.
It has been, and I don't mean to make light of it. It has been, in the beginning of COVID, every day was different. And now getting into where we're trying to stabilize a little bit, just to be clear, every day is different. We have had to adjust and evolve. We went to no-touch food distribution, which required a gargantuan effort of, instead of just sending food to our local agencies or our local pantries and saying, okay, you give this free food to people in need. Well, we didn't want to put those volunteers, which many of them are older and at-risk generation, in harm's way. And so we started packing boxes to the tune of 35, 40,000 boxes of food that we had to pack. It was hard to do that, packing of 40,000 pre-packed boxes, when we couldn't have volunteers because COVID was happening.
So you were packing these boxes at the warehouse before you even sent them out.
Exactly. And so we had to bring in, Pennsylvania sent us some laid-off PennDOT workers that had no work to do. They came in and helped us. My own kids came in and helped. I mean, it was a staff scheduled shift hours, and we all worked 100 hours a week to pack tens of thousands of boxes to distribute. And it worked for a time. We've gone back a little bit on that model because things have opened up a little bit. But in terms of the food distribution, we've still had to take food to our clients and do more direct service. In the beginning of the pandemic, once a week, we may have clients come through in a drive-through distribution to pick up food. We've been doing that up to 3 times a week now.
Oh my gosh.
And we will have anywhere from 120 to 150 cars show up in our parking lot like clockwork, and we load food into their trunk to make sure that nobody is being touched, that there is no contact happening. We've changed the way, even the questions that we ask. In old world, it was really, are you under this income threshold, and how many people in your family, and there were many requirements. For the longest period of time, we just waived that. If you were hungry, show up, we'll give you food. And that caused more stress. For us, we typically serve in a year right around 85,000 people, which is that is a huge number of individuals that we are serving every single year. And 30 to 40,000 of those are children in most years.
Yeah.
In our most recent year during COVID, those numbers are going up to 115,000 people.
Goodness.
I mean, to add that many individuals into a system, it has been a challenge. I cannot overstate that. It has been a challenging year.
I can imagine. You guys are doing a great job. I know one of your distribution sites during COVID, the line of cars was absolutely phenomenal, because I would see this every other week when they would distribute the food. And I knew about the same amount of cars would come.
Sure.
But no, through COVID. And even still till today.
We still see it every day.
Exactly.
And in the beginning, we had, before COVID, pre-COVID, we were actually, I mean, it's sad, but we were at a 25-year low for food insecurity in the United States, where we were down to 1 in 7 individuals were in need of food. That's a 25-year low, 1 in 7. 25 years of progress were wiped out with COVID. Our numbers are right back up to where they were 25 years ago because of all the other challenges that are taking place. We got comfortable with receiving anywhere from 5 to 15 phone calls in a given day of any day of regular business, of directing somebody that is newly in need of food. Hey, I lost my job. Hey, I'm having health problems. Hey, this catastrophe happened and I need food. We'll field those calls 5 to 15 times a day on a typical basis. There were days during COVID that we were getting 200 phone calls a day. And just the effort to get back to 200, these are people that are reaching their lowest lows.
Mm-hmm.
To ask for food takes it takes a real effort.
Yes.
To reach out and ask for food. And we needed to get back to them immediately. Mm-hmm. And to return 200 phone calls in a day with a small staff that's packing boxes, that's delivering food, that's that's stressed with COVID internally. Like, it is, just hair for men. That is what it took for the entire year.
But you did it.
It was a busy year.
And like we were talking previously before the show, like every 3 months, it changed. You think you just have it down pat, and boom, something's thrown in the mix, and you have to change tactics.
And we're proud of it. The imagery that sometimes you see, like there will be a news story, and we'll be standing in a warehouse, and you see all these, cardboard boxes standing behind us in the shot, and it looks a little bit stale. But if you came and saw the dynamics of our staff being out face to face, 6 feet apart, of course, getting fresh, perishable food to people that need it, it's a much more dynamic, ever-changing situation, and we're proud that we can adjust. And if and when we talk in a year from now, it will look different, and we will be proudly serving as many people as we can that need food.
You will just roll with it.
Yes,
Whatever's thrown your way, you're going to
will.
roll with it. Zach, you mentioned food pantry and a food bank. What is the difference between a food bank and a food pantry?
Sure. So a food pantry, more often than not, does direct service right to client. So when somebody needs food, they go to their local food pantry resource. They walk in the door, they say, I need food, and they are provided 35 to 50 pounds of food on that visit from the food pantry. We serve hundreds of them across 11 counties that we can direct people to their local food pantry to get that food. Those food pantries, though, sometimes they're in the basement of churches. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they're in a schoolroom off to the side. Sometimes it's their own building, but they're only there for 2 hours out of the month, right? The third Tuesday between 11 and 1 p.m. And they're almost exclusively served by volunteers. At Second Harvest, what we do is provide the resources for those pantries to make their life as easy as possible. Those food pantries get online, they go to the Second Harvest website, they go, all right, I need 40 pounds of cereal, and I would like 60 pounds of peanut butter, and I'd like 55 loaves of bread. They put in their online order, we package it all up, we either palletize it for them to pick up, or we deliver it right to the pantry, and then they distribute that food to people in need.
Okay.
And then in my role as Director of Development is to offset all those costs to make it as low cost or no cost to those pantries as possible.
Okay. Well, Zach, where do you get the food from?
All over. So major manufacturers, if they have product overruns, like Kraft, ConAgra, Nabisco Foods, major manufacturers. But locally, every single day we go out and do food rescue every single day in our area. We'll go to Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Tops, Save-A-Lot, other major retailers, and pick up food that may not be consumed or that may not be something that would sell automatically right off of the shelf. We bring that back into our warehouse, fresh apples or strawberries that may be a day away from selling, or any of that fresh product that maybe you or I or another individual wouldn't necessarily buy from the store. And we turn that right around and take it right out to our pantries. So those people that are in need are not just getting canned food, they're getting all of those fresh, nutritious items as well.
Now, again, how many people do you serve on a daily basis?
On a daily basis is hard to tell because it fluctuates so much. But I can tell you that it's almost 1 million meals every single month that we are kicking out of Second Harvest. And right now, that 115,000 individual number, that'd be 10,000 a month-ish. It fluctuates up. November, December are hard months. But what people don't recognize generally is that February, March are really, really challenging months for hunger in almost every single year and some of our busiest months.
Why is that?
Post-holidays,
Okay.
utility costs go up for those people that are in need, which immediately challenge them. A lot of income at no fault of their own sometimes goes into making sure that families celebrate Christmas and celebrate the holidays. And sometimes in January and February, there are repercussions for that, and those families face challenges. We are non-judgmental.
Right.
We just want to make sure that people eat. And the support that we get in October, November, December helps sustain what our operations are during the beginning of the year.
Now, I know with COVID, a lot of maybe some events that you've planned didn't happen maybe last year. Moving forward, what can we look forward for any events that you may have in the works?
Safe social distance events, we are working towards it. We
Yes.
are glad
Yes.
to be opening back up a little bit. We're still not there with everybody should know, and if you don't know, then please be educated. The NALC Food Drive, which is run the second Saturday of May for 30 plus years, last year was canceled. And that is the grab your food, put it at your mailbox,
Yes.
and the letter carriers are going to pick it up and bring it back to Second Harvest. For us, that represented 125 to 150,000 pounds of food in a single day we would collect, in a single day. And that was all wiped out last year.
I know.
And it doesn't look like it's going to happen again this year. We're hoping that it will happen next year, that everything will be back on track. Our first real event, we had planned for an Empty Bowls. Our first Empty Bowls event was scheduled for last year on March 25th, I believe. And it was the worst timing. I had to tell my employee, my team member, hey, I think we're going to have to cancel this event. This COVID thing looks like it's going to be a big deal. And she's, no, we're going to be fine. People are overreacting. 1 year later, we know where we're at. We're hoping that we can bring that back in September of this year during Hunger Action Month. But our first real back to basics event will hopefully be in November, our Erie News Now drive-through food drive. We ran it last year as a hybrid, and we're hoping this year we can run it full scale. And come 2022 is our 40th year at Second Harvest Food Bank.
Wow.
And we plan on looking back over the last 40 years, recognizing those people that got us to where we are today. And we plan on hopefully taking a breath and, patting each other on the back and saying there's more work to do, and have some events with our friends to talk about it. So,
Oh, you guys do a great job.
thank you.
Now, Zach, if somebody is somebody watching the program or somebody in need, how do they know where your food pantries are? How do they get hooked up that they'd be able to get some food?
It's so easy. So
We like easy.
if somebody is in need of food, it's old school. The old school phone number is 814-459-FOOD. So if you say you say that to somebody 25 and under, they have no idea what that means. So it's 814-459-3663. Just Google Second Harvest, call our number, and we have agency relations staff on board that will help walk you through the process of finding a local pantry. If you feel embarrassed, if you feel any sort of hesitation that you don't want to talk to someone on the phone, Facebook us, email us, Instagram us, tweet at us, whatever it is, and somebody will get back with you. We also have an agency locator on our website, nwpafoodbank.org, that you can just put in your address and it will tell you your local agencies. If you're in need of food, we'll find a resource to get it to you.
Okay. Now, Zach, I know, of course, like you were talking last year, through COVID was a little bit different with volunteers, but tell me, how important are volunteers to your organization?
Lifeblood.
That's what I thought, yes.
Legitimately the lifeblood to what we do. Every day we have multiple shifts of volunteers, socially distanced, safe, healthy, that go through screening processes, but 12 to 15 per shift come in and they pack our backpacks, they pack our senior boxes, they pack Produce Expresses, they go through our donation repack every single day. At one point, we did a number on it that it represented 25 full-time staff or some extravagant number, but that still doesn't give the scope to how important volunteers are. We schedule volunteers every day, church groups and individuals, and we do family days. And right now in the summer, we're blessed that it will plateau a little bit, but going into the fall, when we open up 52 backpack programs when kids are back in school,
right,
and we are serving 2,500 to 3,000 kids every single week, a backpack, a bag of food. We need volunteers to help pack
and that's
those.
unbelievable. I mean, people don't realize the need that's out there that you're filling.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's overwhelming. It's absolutely overwhelming. The number that we serve, 2,500 kids, is tragic, right?
Yes, it is.
When you meet one, I've handed out enough backpacks that when you meet one kid, one child, that receives their backpack of food and opens it up and says, "Oh, thank goodness, there's peanut butter in here. I haven't had peanut butter in so long." Multiply that by 2,500 times 1 week, and multiply that 2,500 times 36 weeks a year that we're doing that. It's heartbreaking, and we need every bit of help that we can get to make sure that those kids do not go hungry.
Okay, and Zach, how can we as a community help you?
Giving your time is wonderful. Donating food, we're grateful for it. But the most efficient way for us to provide help to those that need it is a monetary donation. If $1, we get $1 donations all the time. For every dollar that we get, we turn it into 6 meals and get it out to somebody in need. You send $10 in, we've got 60 meals out to somebody in need. You send a $50 donation, you're helping dozens of families at that point. So if you can provide financially to us, we are good stewards. We've been a 4-star charity for 13, 15 years. It's been so long that the number escapes me. COVID numbers escape me. But we're highly transparent. We take care of your donation.
Zach, I'll tell you, it's so nice having you on the program.
Thank
It was
you.
so nice hearing all that you're doing. Kudos to you with the way you handled everything through COVID. You know, things are going to start tapering, down. It's maybe get some type of normalcy.
Yeah.
But anyhow, you guys have done a great job. There was such a need. And I, for one, thank you for being there and for helping the community. There were so many people that really were first-time recipients and were in a situation that they had never been in before.
Yeah.
And they were afraid.
We are so proud and so hardworking and grateful that we can be conduits between those people that are in need and be part of a community that is so giving. It has been an extraordinarily giving year for the Erie community and even outlying communities to make sure that our neighbors that are in need get the help that they need. It's been phenomenal. Thank you for having us here to be able to talk about it.
It's been wonderful having you here, and thanks for all the information.
Thank you.
Viewers, if you have any questions on anything that we talked about, or if you need a little bit more information, please check out their website, give them a phone call. They would love to hear from you. So viewers, thank you so much for tuning into the Millcreek Government Channel. Until next time, have a wonderful day.